So, in 1999, a little indie project called The Matrix completely broke the pop culture zeitgeist and introduced the whole bullet time mechanic in cinematography that was often copied but never bettered. So many, many films have copied The Matrix or Shrek. So I just want to like go through like my favorite Matrix content. I absolutely love The Matrix. I adore it. I adore the IP. Grew up watching it. I was obsessed with The Matrix. And yeah, like the film came out, like the recent sequel came out in December last year, which was completely overshadowed by Spider-Man No Way Home. And under duress, I feel Lily Wachowski had to make that film because the studio was going to make it with or without her input anyway. But like that is a whole other video which I can do at another time. Right now, I just want to go through my absolute favorite like peak Matrix content.
They're bringing her down now.
No, Lieutenant, your
Men are already dead. Ah, fucking Hugo Weaving, man. Hugo Weaving. It's a shame they couldn't get him back for the recent sequel. Like this, the 360 pan around. It was brand new. Nobody had ever seen that before. In a movie at least. This lobby scene in the cinema was just fucking incredible, man. And then like the music kicks in and everything. Like the sound design for this movie is just absolutely insane as well. I used to play Perfect Dark on the N64, and they got the G5 building with all the pillars. I used to run around with the slow motion on, dual Falcon 2 pistols with like 1-hit kills on. I've spent hundreds of hours on the N64 version of this game just murking people in slow motion. Anyway, back to the video. I mean, such an amazing shot. And like with films, like if they had sometimes like studios have to invent things. They go, oh, I've got an idea for this thing. It's so cool that.
Time is basically like mind over matrix moment, or a moment where we can see, time in, the speed of light or the speed of sound.
So they did these amazing 360-degree like camera rigs. The green screen soundstage, and then they rendered the actual background in 3D. They had a photorealistic scan of the rooftop that they were filming on, and then put Neo on the green screen in post. And then you just got this IRL anime like multi-tiered explosion, like the ripple in the building on like. And then the outward explosions as well. Like, I've never seen anything like that before. I like they didn't overuse that 360 camera shot. It was used sparingly. It was used when it needed to get used. He's not backing down. We walk out at the end of The Matrix, where Neo like flies past the camera, and then Rage Against the Machines, Wake Up is playing, and the credits are rolling. You're walking out that cinema. I was like, "Come at me, bro. I'll twat anybody." Probably would have got headbutted once. Like the harsh reality of life would have smacked me in the fucking face if I just fronted anybody like walking out the cinema, waiting for the slow mo to kick in, but it didn't. So moving on. So this is like the prequel story to the Matrix.
B166ER, a name that will never be forgotten, for he was the first of his kind to rise up against his masters.
Basically, the man and machine go to war against each other, and the machines win. This is ultimately the crux of the prequel to the Matrix, of being plugged in.
Studied men's simple protein-based bodies, dispensed great misery upon the human race.
As a piece of entertainment, it's like you're like, oh, this is great. It's science fiction. It's a cool concept.
Victorious.
But if we're not careful, in reality, as we advance towards like quantum computing, where AI will really take off, it could cause some serious problems for us. I'm not trying to like sound hyperbolic or anything. Like, I genuinely believe, I probably sound like a crazy person. I genuinely believe that if we're not careful with developing AI, a more concise version of what I'm trying to say in this clip just then is that there's an article, December 2014, Stephen Hawking warns artificial intelligence could end mankind. It's a really good article. I'll put it down in the description for you to check out. It's really interesting. Oh, you don't know who Stephen Hawking is? You don't know who Stephen Hawking is?
Stephen Hawking is this, I'm talking like Stephen Hawking right now. Like, I am Stephen Hawking right now. I'm not going to do the head lean because that would be really insulting to do that. I'll let your boy do the head lean. Yeah, Stephen Hawking warns about the dangers of AI.
It's a really interesting article, and I'll put the link for it down below. It's ace, check it out. Absolutely, look, that's like the first generation Sentinel. And I want that as a tattoo, when it's holding up the apple and the scroll. This. End with a delicious anime nuclear explosion. It's such a poignant story, really, if you think about it. I find it absolutely fascinating. And you're probably watching this video like, oh, he's a crazy person who's just obsessed with science fiction. Like, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. But The Matrix Reloaded has some amazing scenes. The script and the story does take a huge dip here and there, but there are truly amazing standout moments. Like, it's such an incredible piece of choreography. The whole thing is not a single punch gets landed apart from one, like right at the end. That is such a great fight. What an awesome sequence that is. It is, however, overshadowed a little bit by this scene, which, like, I'm getting goosebumps now, just like queuing it up. Right, let's just get into it. This is, I still love this scene to this day. It's one of my favorite action sequences of any film. Here we go! Oh! Fucking so good. You've just gone from all blocks with Seraph, which was an incredible fight in of itself, to Neo fighting, like, oh, I don't know if it's like 100 Agent Smiths, but it builds up like a multi-stage fight sequence. I think this fight itself has its own like three-stage arc to it. So this is the end of the first act of this fight. It's ramping up more and more and more. It's building and building and building. Neo's slowly getting more overwhelmed by the sheer amount of Agent Smiths. So he's just taking a big hit there. So we're about to go into Act 2 of the fight, where he needs to step it up just a little bit more. The music as well. Music resets for Act 2. I don't think the rendering's not bad for this, or when it goes full CG. I just think the cloth simulation looks too smooth, but like the actual movement, it's good. But the actual rendering, like the actual like the character's like face model and stuff's still really good. Jesus Christ, that still holds for me personally. That sequence still holds up to this day. It's fucking incredible. I think this is a really underrated scene by comparison to like the Berlin Brawl and the highway sequence. Highway sequence is brilliant. I absolutely love the highway sequence. It was great. I mean, shout out to like a lot of it's like melee-based hand-to-hand combat, punching, kicking, throws, and everything else. Throughout both like the first and second movie. Like, so for them to include an action sequence where it's all weapons-based, it is really fucking mace to the head. Morpheus with a samurai sword, dude, is badass. I mean, I love a good chase sequence in a movie anyway. It's, hey, this was really good. But Carrie-Anne Moss, who plays Trinity, I think she learned how to ride a motorbike just for this movie. She didn't know how to ride a bike before this, riding freaking 1000cc Ducati. This whole sequence as well ends with this bit. This exact bit right now is in the game Enter the Matrix. And Enter the Matrix came out before Matrix Reloaded, so it gave you a little sneak peek into some of the cutscenes in the game. Had clips from the movie that wasn't out yet. Quick shout out to Enter the Matrix, the Animatrix, Enter the Matrix, the Matrix Reloaded, and the Matrix Revolutions all together told one giant story using multimedia across like anime, video games, and movies. So what happened was they filmed a whole bunch of cutscenes for the Enter the Matrix game. All she did was just fuck around on the Merovingian. Monica Bellucci, smash or pass?
Smash.
There's gonna tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
With Persephone in Matrix Reloaded and Enter the Matrix, Ghost had to fuck around to find out. So if you think in terms of like upping the ante between the first film and the second film, the team have definitely done that. They've raised the stakes. It's a continuation on the original story. Yeah, the script isn't, it's not the best. There's a few duff lines here and there, and pacing-wise, it's a little bit slower than the first film. After The Matrix Reloaded came out, the MTV Movie Awards came out like not long after The Matrix Reloaded.
Dude! Where the hell are we? You're in Zion, baby!
Andy Dick in Zion?
I love you, Mobile!
Zion, hear me!
He's having a huge orgy at his place later tonight. At least that's what many of us have heard.
It is true. What many of you have heard.
Morpheus! What can we expect at this orgy?
Machines!
Man, I'm out.
Stop hitting yourself!
Who farted?
I love that the architects will let me.
I've been waiting for you three. Who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
Right, just I know I haven't really covered it in this video, but there's a bit towards the end of Matrix Reloaded. After the highway, after the Burly Brawl, after the weapons and everything else, Neo goes inside the Matrix into the construct and comes across the architect. So the architect is the guy who built and programmed the Matrix as we see it for all the human race to be plugged into. It's a really convoluted and over-articulate monologue that it took me like quite a few watches of the movie to understand what the architect was actually saying. But Will Ferrell expertly it's his take on the architect is so good. I'm not going to show the clip of the actual architect doing his whole monologue because it's just not worth it. But I just love that Will Ferrell is doing this.
The architect. Originally, Neo was the chosen one to host the show, but hosting is a full-time commitment, and he's been a little distracted lately. Trinity. See what I'm talking about? That's why I brought in Sean and Justin, because you, my friend, are completely pussy-whipped.
Oh!
Bullshit. Watch the sass, Captain Sassy Pants.
You won't let it.
No, you won't let it! I'm the one who talks! Okay, mouth shut, ears open!
Oh, and hey, go host the shit out of that show.
Beam.
Ew.
If I were you,
Bite your tongue. Bite it.
I would hope that we don't meet again.
Why'd you say that? I told you to shut up.
I told you to shut up!
So me and my friends quite often quote the 2003 MTV Movie Awards skit. It's like if we need like some kind of memeable response or answer to a conversation, we'll just sometimes, or quite often in fact, just dip in to the fucking gold mine that is the MTV Movie Awards skit. Check it out. It's brilliant. It's like 9 minutes long. It was at the very beginning of the show, of the 2003 award show, and it opened the whole thing. Like, the Matrix Reloaded had completely blown up that year, and the skit was the kind of cold open for the whole award show. And because it features on the Matrix Reloaded DVD special features, that makes it canon to the Matrix universe, which is why it's going on my list. And like, probably thinking, oh, it's not canon. It's not canon. Well, you know, I've got the Matrix Willy Cactus, so that means I can say what the fuck is canon and what's not on this channel. Have you got a Willy Cactus? Do you have a Willy Cactus? I thought not. No, you don't. I've got a Willy Cactus, so I get to say what's canon on this channel. Shout out to Jenny Shelley for making booby pots and willy pots, but mine's The Matrix, because of course it is. The Matrix Revolutions is just a bad movie, and not even the action scenes can elevate it for me. Attack on Zion, like the attack on the dock, everybody's like gun arm mech suits. Surely all those bullets will be making the hole much bigger. And it's ruined by the phrase knuckle up. And anytime I hear the phrase knuckle up, a little piece of me dies. I can't stand listening to knuckle up anymore. Shut the fuck up. Oh, I said it again! Because we've done the Burly Brawl by this point. So, like, how are they going to top that? And it is good. It is very good. It's a very well-made sequence. But this doesn't hold up as much as the Burly Brawl does. Like, even though the stakes are at their highest, literally everybody inside of the Matrix has been turned into Agent Smiths.
Mr. Anderson, welcome back. We missed...
There's so many really, really great concepts in the Matrix movies. All the Matrix movies have got really, really great concepts. Some of it's just poorly executed. And that's the point of this video that I'm making today, is that as an all-in-one experience, there are dips in quality that are undeniable, but in universe, that some of the action sequences, the philosophical points of view, narratives, and exposition that we get are really, really well done. That kind of like keeps me still gripped to the story and these characters. I absolutely love all these characters. Right, I'm just going to talk about The Matrix Resurrections very quickly. It came out in late 2021, was completely overshadowed by Spider-Man No Way Home. The studio, Warner Brothers, forced the film out. Lily, or Lana, I think it's Lily Wachowski, she directed the film. And it's the way that it's written, the meta narrative that's written into the first and second act of this movie didn't cheapen the viewing experience of the film, because it knew what it was, and it uses the original Matrix movies in universe as a trilogy of games that treats Keanu Reeves' Thomas Anderson character like a revered and celebrated video game director like Hideo Kojima, for example. And of course, like, my point to this is, I'm not going to waffle on too long about it, the way it was made, of course it was going to have to reference itself. Like, at the beginning of this video, I said that the original Matrix movie completely broke the pop culture zeitgeist, and it did. So of course it was going to reference that, of how influential it was on the business, not only like the movie business, but in universe on like the game industry that's part of like that in universe narrative. And for the most part it does work, but again it suffers from some pacing issues. The script could have done with another draft, like all of the other Matrix sequels. And like the movie opens in pretty much exactly the same way that the first Matrix movie opens.
We know what happens next. She kicks their ass.
So that character there is Yahya Abdul-Mateen. He plays the Agent Smith of the rebooted Matrix. Lawrence Fishburne's character Morpheus is killed off in the MMO, so the Matrix Online. Canonically, his character is killed off in the MMO. Morpheus is resurrected as Yahya Abdul-Mateen's version of him.
Maybe you know him by his real name, Neo. You do.
See, like, I really like Resurrections. The NPCs of the universe basically get infected and they turn into like a swarm, kind of like a zombie horde type deal. Swarm mode gets activated, like a sleeper agent. Stuff like that is really well done. There's lots of bits in the film that I really enjoy. Unfortunately, so you've got Keanu Reeves in your movie as Neo, then evolves in pop culture from Neo into John Wick. The John Wick movies are fucking ace because you get to see the actors performing their own stunts and their own fight choreography. He's now known in pop culture more so in the current era as John Wick more than he is Neo from the Matrix movies. They rely so much on Neo's force push move instead of doing a lot of like fight choreography that the Matrix movies are known for. And it kind of like it's stuff like that bothers me about Resurrections. That's really unfortunate, but it puts Carrie-Anne Moss in the spotlight as the one. And it obviously shout out to friggin' Neil Patrick Harris as well. He absolutely smashed it in this movie as well. But like I'm not gonna keep harping on like the runtime's fucking. It's growing and growing. I'm gonna keep this like as concise as I can and keep the runtime down. But the movie ends where Carrie-Anne Moss's Trinity also is the one, as well as Keanu Reeves Neo. So like it does feel like Resurrections does feel like the true sequel to the original movie in a way. I know that the Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions, as it was like an event movie that does more world building, introduces more characters, raises the stakes even higher, but doesn't pull it off quite as well as it should do. Matrix Resurrections suffers from the same problem that the other Matrix sequels does. So it does a very Matrix job of being a sequel to the 1999 masterpiece that hasn't been bettered by its own sequels. My top 5 Matrix content. So number 5, The Matrix Resurrections. Number 4, the MTV Movie Awards skit. Number 3, Matrix Reloaded. Number 2, the Animatrix Second Renaissance Parts 1 and 2. Also, like, honorable mention for the rest of the Animatrix. It's really good. Not all of it is canon. I love like anthology series, like Black Mirror, Love, Death and Robots, shit like that. It's fucking cool. The Animatrix does that really well. And at number 1 is the original 1999 Matrix movie. I think we've just watched the video in reverse order of my top 5. But if you made it to the end of this video, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.
Ha 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 ha!